Hello friends and welcome to our channel. Our today's video is about what this beggar did for his daughter proves how pure a father's love is. But before we start, please make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, hit the notification bell, and smash that like button. We really appreciate your continuous support. There's absolutely no shortage of things that you hear on a daily basis that shatter your heart to pieces. But none will have done quite as well as this story of a beggar that tries hard every day to give his kids the life that he thinks they deserve. The world we live in is cruel. It's hard enough to climb the ladder if you had a head start in life. It's impossible to imagine what people that start from the very bottom have to go through. Do you think that anybody wants to be a beggar? To put aside all your pride and ego and to spread your hands in front of strangers, begging them for scraps of food and change is not something people do simply because they want to. It's a circumstance brought forth by life itself. A couple of days ago, the story of a beggar, or as we should appropriately call him, a father, broke loose. The reason why we're calling him a father and not a beggar is because his circumstances don't define him, but rather his every attempt to give his kids every bit the happiness they deserve tells us that the only thing he could ever be is a father. The man who a decade ago would not have believed where he stands today begs on the streets. He wasn't always this way. He wasn't a father. Working night shifts as a night coach, this man fell from a bridge that forced his hands into life that he now leads. He lost his arm and therefore had to resort to begging since being disabled. There weren't many people that would hire him. His circumstances affected his whole family. That included his wife and 2 kids, a boy and a girl named Sumaya. His kids aren't like most kids that whine and complain about the life they lead. Instead, they understand and remain patient. Sumaya is empathetic to her father's lost limb and understands the struggles he has to go through just to make sure that his family does not go to sleep on an empty stomach. After years of not being able to give his kids a stable life, the man, whose name has been kept under wraps, decided to save up money so that he could buy his daughter, Sumaya, a yellow dress, an appropriate attire for the princess of his life. He saved and saved all the money he could, and once he took Sumaya to a dress shop where he handed 300 in the form of 60 crumpled up notes. Upon seeing the state of the money, the seller yelled at the man in front of his daughter Sumaya and asked him if he was indeed a beggar. Realizing the humiliation the situation was bringing upon her father, Sumaya wept and begged her father to forget about the dress and go back home. To her, no dress could ever amount to the disrespect her father was facing just now. Wiping Sumaya's tears, the man didn't back down and bought the yellow dress for her after all for the smile, he says. To him, it doesn't matter that he was humiliated by the shopkeeper because such was the society he knew and lived in. All that mattered was that after 2 whole years of not being able to buy his daughter something new, she was now in a beautiful yellow dress, worthy of her. Today's different because my daughter is very happy. Today, this father is not a beggar. Today, this father is a king, and here is his princess. He knows the pain he sees in his children's eyes every day as he begs, because how could he not? The society humiliates those that aren't up to its standards, the standards which can never be breached by someone that's a beggar. Regardless of the ordeals his family has to go through, this father has made every attempt to educate his kids. Some days his kids cannot sit in the exam rooms to take their exams because he's unable to pay the fees. Though it makes him unbearably sad, he reminds his kids that the biggest exam they'll ever go through is in life itself. Some days he gets sad, but he finds solace in his kids that hug him to sleep. So what if he's a disabled beggar? The fact that regardless of everything, he still has a family that loves and cherishes him is what makes it worthy of being alive, even in this situation. The shopkeeper yelling at this beggar didn't come as a surprise, did it? We see it every day. We just turn a blind eye against those that harass, humiliate, and violate the beggars as if they aren't humans. In doing so, was it us that became inhuman? We give them charity and ask them to pray for our well-being in return. Why do you think that is? If we expect them to help us in this manner, shouldn't we at least be empathetic towards all that beggars go through? It doesn't take much to be human. We should learn from those that don't have much of anything except to be human, like this father. Did you enjoy today's story? Let us know what you think about it in the comments. If you believe this story was amazing, don't hesitate to share it with your buddies. Hit the subscribe button and activate the notification bell so you'll never miss your daily dose of incredible stories.